Hey guys, Brian Mann here from Hands On Auto Training. This is the end of day video for 7/28/2021. But I first wanted to show you guys how I kind of have my stuff set up. This is like the setup I use for any job I go to. I kind of take this out of my van and I have this set up to wheel around the shops. Now, just so you know, I don't have all my tools in there. Of course, I got a lot of stuff in my vehicle, but this is everything I need to do most programming and even many diagnostic jobs. So getting to a shop, this is kind of how I set it up here. Nothing too fancy, but some guys that are mobile don't get into setting up like this, but I do. The reason is my back is hurting from years of bending over the front seat of a vehicle. It takes a lot out of you, if you know what I mean. So this just really does make my life a whole lot easier. So I got my little mouse stand here and then my computer stand. So it doesn't take that long to set up. Some people are like, oh, it takes so long to set that up. I really don't think so. But once I get this up like that, we're up and running. We're in there and going. And as you see, that's that. Now inside this bag here, I do have quite a few other things. I got my Cardac 3 Plus and the cables for it. I got a charge cable for my cell phone. Got a GMMDI2. I got my multimeter. Got a U-scope, can breakout box, FIG test lead, and my Ford VCM2. I also have a couple other multiple leads, miscellaneous leads, and maybe a couple sockets and ratchets and screwdrivers around. That's in there. Now over here, I always have my extension cord that I take with me. I got a flashlight, and I have another mouse stand. I actually use this for putting my scope on. And then we have my beat up old charger. This thing's a beast. This is about 2 or 3 years old. And it's getting pretty rough, but it still works. Now inside this other box, down here, I think I just have maybe a couple hand tools and my TPMS tool. Nope, yeah, I got a ratchet in there, and this is my TPMS tool. So that's in a nutshell kind of like what I use every day. This is my setup. That's about how long it takes to get set up. Some people say it takes too long, but I really don't think so. For the savings on my back and working comfortable, it's pretty good. Now let's get into today. Today started out with a 2009 Dodge Caliber. I went ahead and had all the keys were lost for the vehicle except for a door key. They did not have a transponder in it, so we had to cut 2 keys and program them. As I went to do this job, my Autel was dead. My 608 was dead, totally dead battery. I must have left it on, didn't realize it. So I ended up having to use my AutoPad Pro. The job went through. I got the job done, no problem. It just was a little bit weird. I erased the keys because they lost the keys and I didn't want anybody else to find the keys and start the vehicle. So as I did the job, it was pretty interesting. I pulled the pin code immediately. I erased the keys and then I put the program 2 keys, but I had a security light still flashing. And I think I just had to actually leave the key off for maybe 2 minutes or so. That's all I should have done, but I messed around a little bit and that was that. Our next job was a 2014 E150. This van would blow the fuse 27 in the inside fuse block when you went to crank. As soon as you went to crank, the fuse would pop. It had a short to ground. We figured out it was between the trans range switch and C129. That's a connector at the top of the firewall. And basically we isolated it down to that point. And I knew that the problem was there. We ran a wire just to test it out to make sure it was all good. And it was. I recommended to the shop that we go further to tear into the harness. I think they're going to take care of that on their own. The next job after that was actually a follow-up for a job that I did diagnose a few weeks ago as a bad transfer case. I think it was a 2013 Grand Cherokee, had a bad transfer case. It was setting a code for transfer case clutch material wear. The shop had actually put a used transfer case in it, and it had the same exact problem. So I went back, diagnosed it again, and said, you got to get a transfer case, and they got a brand new one from the dealer. The brand new one was actually cheaper than the used one from the junkyard. So they put that in there, that one was solved. Next, we had all keys lost on a 2006 Ford F-150. I picked the lock on this vehicle. I think it took me probably about 11 minutes to pick it. I was kind of in the sun getting frustrated, but I did get the lock picked, decoded, cut 2 keys. I used the AutoPad Pro, which programmed the keys really quick, no 10-minute wait. I think the 608 will get around that too, but like I said, my 608 was charging. Our next job after that was a fuel pump control module on a GMC truck. These things are easy. I do a lot of them. There's no problems, no issues there. All said and done with that one. And the last job of the day was a fun one. I had no communication with a computer on a 2009 Pontiac G6. Now, the vehicle would start and run, and the reason it was getting diagnosed was because the E-check failed. They could not get past the state emissions check because of no communication. When I got there right away, we plugged in the DLC breakout box. I took a look at the resistance on the CAN bus between pin 6 and 14 with the key off. We had mega ohms. I mean, it was like 0.9 mega ohms, so almost a million ohms resistance. And it was varying. It was kind of fluctuating around. This is always a key to a problem with that, right? I took the U-scope, I plugged it in there. The CAN low looked okay. Pin 14 looked good. Pin 6 looked terrible. It was a terrible pattern on the scope. What it ended up being was a bad body control module. Basically, we tested the resistance of the CAN network and split the network in different places to find the problem. Now, if you want more information on how to diagnose this type of thing, be sure to check out Hands-On Auto Training. I'm going to be posting a complete video and fix on that one on the membership site. I appreciate everyone watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you'd like to know more about my setup, my equipment, let me know. I'll try and help you out any way I can. Have a great day.